So when I first came to Qatar, I had colleagues that I was working with, right? So and there was this particular one from Gambia. He's a very good friend of mine. In fact, we are still friends. So through conversations, and I asked him. Now, because I came with an agent, or an agency helped me to come to Qatar. At that point, I was thinking almost everyone working in Qatar came with an agency, right? Because around that time I was very naive and stupid, So yeah, through conversation, I told this guy that we actually had a proper conversation. So I explained to him the agency that brought me, how much money that was involved, how much I had to pay, how long the process had to take. And I guess what I asked this guy, I asked him, how about him? Which agency brought him here? Can you just imagine what he told me? He told me there was no agency involved. He came here with a free visa. That was when I started thinking, free visa. What do you mean by free visa? Can you elaborate? Can you explain? He says he can't explain, or he doesn't even understand it. But all what he can say is you come here and you look for a job yourself. So he walked me through his whole process, how hectic it was for him to land himself a job. He told me at a point they were sleeping in a room like 4 or 5 people. So yeah, anyways, enough of the story. It's interesting, right? It's interesting. So yeah, I'll continue the story, but before then, let's get into today's video. So my name is Malik Sterling, and if you're new on my channel, please subscribe. According to YouTube statistics and analytics and metrics and whatsoever, only 30% of my viewers have subscribed to my channel. So please, if you've not subscribed, kindly press on that red notification button down there, set post notifications on, so whenever we drop a video you get notification, ding ding, so you can come and vibe with whatever that we've posted. So in today's video, we're basically going to talk about Qatar freelance visas. For me, I believe that anything that has to do with visas and for some reason didn't make their way to the MY website, it's illegal. That is what I believe in. Basically, that is what I believe in. And guess what? My belief is right. Because if it's not on the MY website, then who created it? Why is it even in place? Why is it even running? Now, first of all, let me explain what a freelance visa means. Now, a freelance visa is available in many countries, of course, and it's a type of visa which allows you to work individually, independently, without any employer. So you're not bound to any employer. You can work for anyone, quit their job, anyone, without even pre-informing them, without the employer owning you. You know what I mean? So it's just like you being free. That is even how the word came up. Freelance. So you are just a free person working for someone to make ends or whatsoever. But in Qatar, freelance visas are not freelance visas. Now there are 2 things that I'm going to talk about here. Qatar freelance visa. All right, so I'm going to explain, just like I did now. I've explained what a freelance visa means, right? So I'm going to explain what Qatar freelance visa means, and the system of visas that Qatar has. So now Qatar follows a sponsored based system for employment visas. So which means no expatriate worker can work in Qatar without the sponsorship of a local entity. Local entity means a Qatari citizen, right? And usually this local entities, or the employer who is a Qatari, takes responsibility of your visa and your legal statuses. So anything that has to do with your visa, your ID card, your everything, your sponsor, which is the local entity, has to take in charge or has to take control over all these things. But in some cases, now let me explain the Qatar freelance visa thing. How there was an article, and I'm going to touch on that very soon. So now Qatar freelance visa is a type of, this is what I saw on internet, and this is what I was able to gather from friends working in the immigrations and all of that. They said it's a type of visa that it's not even a type of visa. It's just like the normal or the regular type of visa that we have, like the residence permit visa, which allows you to work and live in Qatar. So it is also like that type of visa, issued legally but handled illegally, right? So yeah, maybe if this is confusing, let me hit on it again. It's issued legally, but it's handled illegally. So it's just like this bottle of water. I'm not going to advertise for them. So I bought it legally, but I can use it illegally. This, maybe they say drinking water, right? So drinking water, if I water this with my plant, it's illegal, right? Basically, that is what they're trying to say. Meanwhile, this water can do so many things, but as far as they say it's a drinking water, so it means it's for human consumption. It's not for plant or species or whatsoever consumption. I hope I'm making sense. So it's just like that. So this is a type of visa that is issued legally but handled illegally. And what difference does it make from the regular type of visa that we have here? Now, the only differences that it makes is that with the residence permit or with the regular visas that we know, it's issued it's issued by your original sponsor, right? That is your local entity or the company that is bringing you here. It's issued by them, but you don't work for them. So it's like this: I issue you a visa, you come to Qatar, you don't work for me, you work for this person, all right? And if I issue you visa, according to the Qatar law, this is how it should work. If I issue you a visa, I'm supposed to take care of your legal your visa and your legal status, right? So if I issue you a visa, all these things are my priorities, all these things are my responsibilities. But in this Qatar freelance visa thing that I'm explaining, if I issue you a visa, it's like a vice versa. Instead of me looking for a job for you, preparing you an residence permit ID, that is the QID, you pay for all these things. Meanwhile, you're not supposed to pay for them. You pay for all these things, and sometimes even the visa itself is extremely expensive. It ranges from 5,000 riyals to 10,000 riyals. That's a lot for just a visa. And one thing that even bothers me most is that you come here and you have to look for a job yourself. Recently, I've seen most agents, not just most, okay, so I'm going to talk about that. Recently, I've seen most agents trying to offer the newbies, new people who are trying to come to Qatar here, they're offering them freelance visas. And when they reach out to me, bro, these agents want to offer me a freelance. First of all, I tell them, listen, this freelance visa is illegal. Because this same Gambian friend of mine that I'm talking about, maybe he'll see this video and he'll be like, yo, Malik, why didn't you seek my permission? Bro, yeah, so he came to Qatar with a freelance visa. And people come to Qatar with a freelance visa with the intention that they're going to land themselves a very huge job. But listen, Qatar here, everyone deals with experience, so you can have a freelance visa and have your residence permit, and your position on the freelance visa says company owner or whatsoever. If you've never been on that field before, you're going to earn something like this. So that is how it works over here. So don't let any agent lie to you and tell you that, oh, they can prepare you a freelance visa, and when you come to Qatar here, you just need to hustle for a few days or a few times. Then everything, voila, everything works for you. Now, first of all, if you come with a freelance visa, yeah, I know most of my friends that are using freelance visas, and maybe they don't even know that it's illegal, because when they got here, they just told them, this is freelance visa, and probably none of them had even sat down to go through, like, is this even legal? Why isn't it in the Metrash app, right? So we have Metrash app here. That is where you can even book your visitor's visa and whatsoever. So aside from the hire card that is trending lately, so you can, back then it was this tourist visa. So yeah, I'm not even going. I said last time that hire card, I'm not going to talk about it again. But anyways, if you want to come to Qatar and if you want to come to Qatar and work, I would suggest that you come with a hire card, look for a job, and exit, come back again, and come and work. So that is the only way. Working with a tourist visa or a hire card, it's completely illegal. I'm not here to encourage it. So anyways, just like I was saying, if you come with a freelance visa, you will have to take responsibility of everything. And sometimes, even with your ID card, it takes forever for you to get your ID card. And guess what? If you get your ID card and you start working, every month you will have to pay your sponsor, right? The one who is sponsoring your ID card, because it's not free. They're helping you to work freely. But in the original way, or the legal way to do it, they bring you here, they get you your ID card, they get you a job, a place to lay your head, they give you a job, of course, then they pay you. That is what they do. You work for them and they pay you. But now it's like you are working for them and you are paying them. Because first of all, the visa is not free. You bought the visa for about 5,000 to 10,000, and every month you will have to be paying them around 250 riyals to 500 riyals. I was able to gather a few few people who are on the freelance visas, and I talked to them from the beginning. It's not encouraging. It's not really nice, but with time, they learn from their mistakes and their experiences, and it's like things work for them. Now they are able to get a job, and they are freely able to work and look for another job at any time. I think that is some of the few benefit that comes with it, even though it is illegal. So I would advise you. And lately also, I've heard most people who come to my DMs, most of them are locals as in they live already here in Qatar, right? They are expatriate workers. Okay, so let's say someone from Ghana, someone from Kenya, someone from Uganda. They just message me on Instagram and they go like, bro, I've been working in my company for like 2 years and I want to change my visa and get a freelance visa. Bro, what is freelance visa? Have you even asked yourself how it goes? Have you even asked yourself what it takes to get your freelance visa? Have you even spent time to check what you are getting yourself into? Always I say this to people, all of us have different heads, different antennas. So what might work for me might never ever work for you. And what might work for you will never work for me. So sometimes advices might never work for everyone. So sometimes I might give you advice, but just sit down, analyze it, and just give it a try. If it works, okay. If it doesn't work, just take it as an advice gone wrong. So yeah, so it's just like that. So listen, this topic exactly, most of my friends advised me not to talk about it because they know that the freelance visa or the visa is sponsored by a local, which makes it a very sensitive topic to talk about because it's issued by a local, means a citizen, a local entity, a Qatari citizen who is responsible for your visa, but it's handled with less care, or let me say it's handled wrongly or it's handled illegally, right? So most of them advise me, yo bro, skip this topic, skip it. But here, it's just an information out there. Information shared is always the right way to go. So if you're planning to come to Qatar, so now so let's say even if freelance was not illegal and it was legal, now there's an article here that I'm going to touch on very soon. It mentions the only GCC countries, the Gulf countries around here. So when we talk about Gulf countries, I'm pretty sure you know about them. So Qatar, Oman, Kuwait, UAE, that is the Dubai, all of them form together to be the GCC countries. So freelance visas has been, all around these places, but it's Dubai, UAE. They are the only ones that has or have completely embraced and completely made it publicly that it is allowed. So aside from Dubai, all the other GCC countries, it is illegal to work with a freelance visa. So yeah, let's touch on the article that I found here. It says at the beginning of 2022. So this is going to be in the description box if you also want to, and the link is going to be there. This is from qatarguide.com or whatsoever. So yeah, qatarguides.com. So it says at the beginning of 2022, Qatar's neighboring country UAE introduced freelance visas for various categories to attract global talent to the country. UAE's talent pass. All right, so even for them, it's not completely like a freelance visa. It's like a talent pass. So it's not like something that you'll be using in the country for a longer period. Okay, so UAE's talent pass, licensed for self-employment, is available for professionals with unique skills and expertise. However, like most other GCC countries, Qatar does not have a freelance visa scheme for employment purposes. Anyone who claims to be on a Qatar freelance visa is either ignorant about the law or doesn't know or doesn't want you to know he or she is working illegally. There are a couple of ways under which you can temporarily work for another employer, but that doesn't make it a freelance visa. Okay, right? So now we're going to talk about how you can work as a freelance visa legally. So this is how it goes. I'm not going to make this video any longer. So if you plan to come to Qatar and you don't want to work with your sponsor, right? So you don't want to work with your sponsor. This is how it goes. So it's going to be an agreement between three parties. That is you, your original sponsor, all right? Your original sponsor, that is your sponsor that brought you here, or the sponsor that issued your visa to you. So you, your original sponsor, and the Ministry of Labor. So there's going to be an agreement, and it's temporary. You will have to renew it every 6 months. So that is how it goes. So if you want to work in Qatar as a freelance visa, this is the best way to go about it. So in this way, it's not illegal. And listen, most people even work with freelance visas and they've never met their sponsors. Fine, you don't need to meet your sponsor. They are Qataris. They might not have time. They might be at so many places at the same time. You might never be able to meet them in the rest of your days that you'll be in this country. But at least get that source, get that information. Imagine during the World, even way before the World Cup, the police stopped me at the metro station. One time, they asked me for my ID card. I showed them my ID card, and we became friends automatically because we had the same sponsor. So they saw my ID card. They were like, oh, they started speaking Arabic. They thought I could speak Arabic. I told them, la, I don't speak Arabic. So that is how smooth that encounter went. But just imagine, you are working, or even sometimes they even come to companies, right? This Baladia and the rest, they sometimes come to your company. So let's say you are working for company A and your visa, or let's say you are working for company A and your visa status says you're working for company B. So why then are you in this company A? You understand? And this situation could actually lead you to prison or deportation. Yes, there are a few people that have been arrested and they're still in the prison, and some also have been deported just because they were using freelance visas. It's crazy. So don't think because everyone is using it, you will also use it. It will be at your own risk. But first and foremost, make sure you don't come to Qatar as a fresh comer or as a fresh person with a freelance visa. Unless maybe you have grounds over here, maybe your family already lives here, maybe you've been promised. But trust me, even nowadays, companies are so scared to sign on or to recruit people with freelance visas. Now, with some companies, they don't care because they want cheap labor. Cheap labor as in, if you already have your visa and you're coming to me, then there is no need for me to go buy visa, process everything, and bring you from your country. You even saved them the cost of tickets. You've saved them. They don't need to buy tickets for you, right? And it's like this: the moment they change your freelance visa to their visa, just like this Gambian friend of mine that I was talking about. So when he came with freelance visa and he finally found a job in the hotel changed his visa status into their name. So this guy was no more a freelance visa, and that was how it ended. He was no more a freelance visa, and he came here with a freelance visa with the idea that freelance visa holders earn much money or earns more money over here. But it is never like that. That is what I'm saying. We have different heads. People might be lucky, others might not be lucky. So it's just like that. So just be careful out there. And so that would be the end of today's video. I don't want to talk much because I'm always very careful with what I say. It might put me in trouble. So anyways, my name is Malik Sterling, and in conclusion, what I would add to what I've just said is that if you want to come to Qatar, use the proper channels and use the proper way. There is no shortcuts in coming to Qatar. I know there are shortcuts to the USA, there are shortcuts to Canada, there are shortcuts to Australia, wheresoever. But trust me, in Qatar, there are no shortcuts over here. There are no shortcuts over here. Well, you might know a few people who came during the World Cup and they are still here. They don't want to go. It's just a time bomb that is ticking. I just pray they don't get you. And even if they get you, you should be on a cool term. They take you like this, they take you to the airport, they send you back home. And if it happens like that, you'll be deported. So it means from a duration of 5 to 10 years, you might not be able to come to the country. So that is how you lose your chance. Okay, so if you want to come to Qatar, come in a proper channel, come in the right way. So that is just all about that. My name is Malik Sterling, and if you are new on this channel, once again I'm going to say this. Now I'm not going to get tired of saying this. Let's subscribe to this channel. Let's grow this channel. My channel has been here for a while, so let's appreciate small. So thank you so much. Stay safe, and I love you. They said I love everyone on my channel. Of course, I need to love you. You're my family. I love you. Just that sometimes you give me crazy conversations. Anyways, I love you. Stay safe and take care of yourself.